In recent years, rare earth minerals have quietly become one of the most powerful weapons in global geopolitics, and now a surprising discovery inside the United States has sent shockwaves across the world, especially to China. Reports and research suggest that the U.S. has found significant concentrations of rare earth elements hidden in its rivers, streams, and mining waste, a revelation that could completely reshape global supply chains. For decades, China has dominated the rare earth market, controlling nearly 70% of global production and refining capacity. This dominance has given Beijing enormous economic and political leverage, particularly over the United States and its allies. But if America can unlock these newly discovered resources, the balance of power may be about to shift, and China is not happy about it. Rare earth minerals are not actually rare, but they are difficult and expensive to extract in usable form. These elements are essential for modern technology, including smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, fighter jets, missiles, satellites, and advanced medical equipment. Without rare earths, much of today's high-tech world would simply stop functioning. The United States once had a strong rare earth industry, but environmental concerns, high costs, and China's cheaper production gradually pushed America out of the market. Over time, the U.S. became dangerously dependent on Chinese supplies, a vulnerability that has alarmed policymakers in Washington for years. The discovery of rare earth elements in U.S. rivers is especially significant because it challenges the traditional idea that rare earths only come from large mines. Scientists and researchers have found that sediments, coal ash, and industrial byproducts carried by rivers may contain economically viable concentrations of these critical minerals. In some regions, rivers flowing through former mining areas have accumulated rare earth elements over decades. What was once considered waste or pollution is now being reevaluated as a strategic resource. This new method of extraction could be more environmentally friendly and cost-effective than traditional mining, giving the U.S. a powerful new advantage. China's reaction to this discovery has been cautious but telling. For years, Beijing has used its rare earth dominance as a strategic tool, occasionally restricting exports during political disputes. When trade tensions between the U.S. and China escalated, rare earths were frequently mentioned as a potential pressure point. The idea that America could reduce or even eliminate its dependence on Chinese rare earths threatens one of China's strongest economic weapons. This is why analysts believe China is deeply concerned about America's growing efforts to secure domestic supplies. The geopolitical implications of this discovery go far beyond economics. Rare earth minerals are critical to national security, especially for military technology. Fighter jets like the F-35, precision-guided missiles, radar systems, and naval equipment all rely heavily on rare earth elements. A secure domestic supply means the U.S. military would be less vulnerable to supply disruptions during conflicts or diplomatic crises. This is particularly important as tensions rise in the South China Sea, Taiwan Strait, and other strategic regions. Environmental concerns have always been one of the biggest challenges in rare earth mining, but river-based extraction may offer a cleaner alternative. Traditional rare earth mining produces toxic waste and radioactive byproducts, which is one reason many Western countries abandon domestic production. New technologies aim to extract rare earth elements from river sediments, coal waste, and recycled materials with significantly less environmental damage. If successful, this could allow the U.S. to scale production without facing the same level of public opposition that shut down mines in the past. China, on the other hand, built its rare earth empire by accepting environmental damage in exchange for economic growth. Entire regions in China have suffered severe pollution due to rare earth processing. If the U.S. develops cleaner extraction methods, it could not only reduce dependence on China but also set new global standards for sustainable mining. This would further weaken China's competitive advantage, forcing Beijing to either modernize its industry or risk losing market share. Another important factor is global alliances. The U.S. is not acting alone in this race for rare earth independence. Countries like Australia, Canada, and Japan are also investing heavily in rare earth exploration and processing. A U.S.-led rare earth supply network could replace China as the world's primary supplier, reshaping global trade. This is especially concerning for China because rare earth exports are a major source of strategic influence rather than just revenue. From an economic perspective, The discovery of rare earth minerals in U.S. rivers could create thousands of jobs and revive struggling industrial regions. Areas once affected by mining pollution could become hubs of advanced mineral processing and clean technology. This aligns perfectly with America's broader push toward green energy and domestic manufacturing. Electric vehicles, renewable energy infrastructure, and battery production all require large amounts of rare earth elements, making this discovery strategically timed. China's displeasure is also rooted in timing. As the world transitions away from fossil fuels, demand for rare earth elements is expected to skyrocket. Electric cars require significantly more rare earths than traditional vehicles, and wind turbines depend heavily on rare earth magnets. If the U.S. can meet its own demand and export surplus supplies, China's dominance in the green energy supply chain could be seriously undermined. This could slow China's ambitions to lead the global green economy. Critics, however, urge caution. Extracting rare earth elements from rivers is still an emerging technology, and scaling it up will take time, investment, and regulatory approval. Environmental groups warn that disturbing river ecosystems could have unintended consequences if not managed properly. There are also concerns about whether these resources are sufficient to meet long-term demand. While promising, this discovery is not a guaranteed solution overnight. Despite these challenges, the political momentum behind rare earth independence is stronger than ever. U.S. lawmakers from both parties agree that reliance on China for critical minerals is a national security risk. Billions of dollars have already been allocated to research, development, and infrastructure aimed at securing domestic rare earth supplies. The discovery of minerals in rivers adds a powerful new dimension to these efforts, making energy and mineral independence more achievable than previously thought. China's media and analysts have downplayed the significance of the discovery, but their actions suggest concern. Beijing has increased investment in overseas rare earth projects and tightened control over its domestic industry. This indicates that China is preparing for a future where its dominance is challenged. The rare earth race is no longer just about resources, it is about influence, security, and technological leadership in the 21st century. In conclusion, the discovery of rare earth minerals hidden in U.S. rivers could mark a turning point in global geopolitics. If successfully developed, it has the potential to reduce America's dependence on China, strengthen national security, and reshape global supply chains. China's unease is understandable, as this development threatens one of its most powerful strategic advantages. While challenges remain, one thing is clear: the global battle for rare earth minerals has entered a new phase, and the consequences will be felt for decades to come. As the world watches closely, the question is no longer whether rare earths matter but who will control them. And for the first time in a long while, China may be facing serious competition.